There's so much information to dig out of these two box office flops, okay? Trends are changing, tastes are changing, but the entire idea that, oh, Hollywood's dying, the entertainment industry is on its deathbed, it's being read its last rites, that is totally not the case. What this tells me initially is that people are tired of being preached to and proselytized to. Thanks to the abject success of the Bud Light boycotts, realizing that, we don't have to actually put up with any of this stuff, and if we do not continue to give money to companies that hate us, things will actually change. Wow, that's a unique concept. Can we just go ahead and apply that to other things? Oh, we really can? Fantastic stuff. So The Flash, which I've heard a couple of different things about, and it's just an absolute abortion of a film. And Elemental, the Pixar flop that's out there, and the way that it's being spun, it's not the worst Pixar movie, box office wise, that's come out. It's the worst performing one since Toy Story. You guys remember Toy Story is a great film, which it is a great film, fantastic film. I remember, I think I went to the theater for that one. I was very, very young when that initially came out. But yeah, they're trying to compare it to that. But then also leaving out the fact that, yeah, we're not adjusting for inflation. So it's not the worst performing one. The initial Toy Story, when it first came out, it actually performed worse than Elemental. So it's totally fine. Just leaving out the big factor about ticket prices and all that stuff. Anyways, Ezra Miller's The Flash, which if you could take a look at the marketing for that one, you would hardly know that it's Ezra Miller's Flash. You would just think that it's the third Michael Keaton Batman film, even though he's only apparently in like 25 minutes of the film. But don't worry about it. You just sit down, you watch two Ezra Millers for like an hour and a half. It'll be great, fantastic. And Pixar's Elemental get iced in openings, and it's terrible. It's really not good, given the fact that by some reports, The Flash is unironically the most expensive film ever. It's been in development for, oh lord, it was announced about a decade ago. It's gone through reshoot after reshoot, director after director. It ended up with either its sixth, or it went through 6 different directors in order to land on the fucking goof that was hubristic enough to say that, no, I can save this, it'll be great. And then for people to say that, oh no, it's not entirely his fault, he was just given a bad script and he was just trying to make the best of a bad situation. If you can see something as a smoldering trash fire and 5 other people have walked away from the project, and you think that, oh, I can just go ahead and I can get the paycheck, it really doesn't matter what it looks like at the end of the day, that's again a reflection on you. So no, people saying that, oh no, I didn't get a good chance and that's not entirely his fault, no, he's gonna be making the new Batman film that comes out, so that'll totally be fine, right? He'll be vindicated on that. Fucking yuck, get out of your own ass. So that's some of the scuttlebutt around The Flash. And when it comes to Pixar's Elemental, there it was all marketed on, oh, take a look at our, middling visuals, which Pixar used to be cutting edge, used to be at the top of the pile, but now, they've been outdone by Illumination, DreamWorks, especially when it comes to storytelling. And now, what does Pixar have unique to offer? We have our first non-binary water droplet, and it's like, okay, great, fantastic. Every single time that you try to jam these agenda-driven movies into the people's eyes, just check out what Strange Worlds did, what Lightyear did. Yeah, you decide to just, no, we'll try it this time because we got Pixar behind us. Fucking yuck. You get what you deserve. Such is the refrain across Hollywood as opening weekend estimates circulate for DC's highly anticipated The Flash. I don't know who was anticipating that. People just saying, oh my god, it's Michael Keaton's Batman, which, ooh, this might be a spicy take. I have absolutely zero attachment to Michael Keaton's Batman. I didn't watch it. I think I've probably seen parts of Returns, but Batman for me, mostly because, yeah, that was Batman growing up. Like, out of all of the Batman films that are out there, in totality, I've probably seen Batman and Robin the most, okay? To be completely honest. Like, I've got a special, spot in my heart, and I got the collector's Blu-rays that are over there still sealed and stuff like that. I got multiple copies of the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy stuff. Like, Batman Begins is great. I still remember that film, and it's been a long time since I've watched it. Dark Knight, that kind of speaks for itself. It's as good as advertised. And then Dark Knight Rises was the last film that I seen in theaters. The first film that I seen twice in theaters, and the last film that I've ever seen in theaters, because there are so many plot holes, and it's not very good. It's not very good. But yeah, when somebody says Batman, I think Christian Bale. And outside of a very select group of people, like Michael Keaton's probably down on a lot of people's list when it comes to just a memorable Batman. That's just my opinion, though. And so hinging a movie from a character with all the controversy around him, which I think most people have kind of forgot about. Not like you and I, okay? If we're watching this film and you hear the name Ezra Miller, a groomer multiple times over, abuser, criminal, like all of that stuff comes to mind. But for most people, it's like, wasn't there a controversy around that guy or something like that? Like, I don't know what's going on. Most people are kind of fucking stupid, okay? If we're going to keep it a buck. So yeah, this was supposed to be one of those, big tentpole caped crusader films, but then in actuality, Hollywood has been kind of binging on all of this crap for over a decade. Like this wave, I don't know if you want to track it all the way back to like 2000 Spider-Man, X-Men, or if you just want to go ahead and, kick it off with like Iron Man in 2008. Like, it's fairly long in the tooth and everybody's about done with it. Marvel kind of killed the game with Stage 4. With all of the schlock that they just decided to trot out there because they thought that they were too big to fail. But in actuality, you might have just ended up killing the superhero genre. Oh well, sucks to suck. And then Disney, well, everything that they touch recently is just absolute ass cancer. Like, they haven't put out what was the last big animation film that they put out that was even reasonably well received? Like, the most successful film this year, and this has once again nothing at all to do with a Hollywood problem. Super Mario Brothers quickly cracked $1 billion. The second best performing animated film was released this year. Everybody knew it was going to be a success, but Super Mario probably overperformed expectations. There is a thirst out there from the public. They just want to see a good or even just a stupid apolitical film. That's what they want. They don't want to be proselytized to. They don't want to be preached at for 90 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, just about 3 hours. They just want to sit down and fucking enjoy something. That's what I take away from this, but let's get into some numbers here and have a good laugh. Yes, so Flash, Elemental, Flop are debuting domestically over the long Juneteenth holiday weekend. I think that this is just mean from Hollywood Reporter. It's also Father's Day on Sunday, just as a little bit of a throw-in, but of course you say long Juneteenth weekend, which I hope everybody's Juneteenth celebrations were nice. You guys have a good cookout, but then just to have Father's Day on the end of that, that's just so mean to have next to Juneteenth. Like, come on, don't rub it in. Starring Ezra Miller in the titular role, Warner Brothers and DC's The Flash is anything but flashy. In the opinion of moviegoers, the film earned an estimated $55.1 million for the 3 days, and projected $64 million for the 4-day. Notably behind expectations. Yeah, like they were hoping that this was going to make like 120, but then estimates got revised and they were hoping for the regular 3-day weekend, which I have no idea why they thought this a Juneteenth thing was going to catch on. 60 to 70 million, and you just might barely hit the bottom end of that. Sucks to suck, I guess. The Flash had hoped to the 3-day start of at least $70 million as it comes in ahead of such disappointing DC titles as Black Adam, which collected $67 million in its first 3 days. Yeah, and Black Adam, that's The Rock, and he's like a box office draw. Really? Really? Outside of what? Franchise films? Like, how much of a draw is The Rock? Really? Like, yeah, okay. $1 billion with Jumanji? Interesting. All the goodwill from the Robin Williams film, but no, okay, that was all The Rock. And then, the box office juggernaut that is the Fast and the Furious franchise. Oh, right. Sure. But The Rock's the draw. Just take a look at the box office of Black Adam. He draws right to the dumpster. Overseas, the superhero tentpole also is facing challenges. It opened to $72 million from 79 markets, including a dismal $13.8 million in China for a global opening of $130 million through Sunday. Fucking gross, dude. Given the fact that I think the purported budget, at least the budget that has been made to the public, is somewhere in the $220 million range, but that doesn't account for so many other things as well. Like, you're taking a look at a $300 million budget for this film, and it's got to make $700 million to break even, bro. It's a fucking wrap, kids. You ain't making that shit back. This is your third DC bomb in a row. Because, yeah, you had Black Adam. And then does anybody remember Shazam 2 came out in between these three films, okay? And then The Flash right here. 3 fucking duds because you announced, oh yeah, we're going to be rebooting everything underneath James Gunn's banner, and that's going to make things so much fucking better because he's out here saying that The Flash is the best DCEU movie that's literally ever been done, and it's one of the best superhero films that I've ever seen in my fucking life. What a goddamn liar. Is everybody excited for Creature Commandos? The studio's leadership had been hyping The Flash for months, with Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav proclaiming it the greatest superhero film he's ever seen. Like, seriously, guys, trust me. What are my sources? I made it the fuck up. Many critics don't agree with the assessment. The picture is currently has a 67% tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, fucking care what they have to say about that. That's all hokum anyways. A bigger problem, the audience gave the movie a mediocre B cinema score. Oh my god. Has a way of comparison. Elemental, my dear boy, received an A. Oh, good. So the people who decided to weather the storm and go down to that abomination decided that it's actually pretty good. I like the visuals because you take a look at the marketing. Like, you can be on social media and Disney's pushing that shit hard. All of the endorsements, though, is, boy, it looks great. Okay, so what's the story about? It's a gorgeous visual feast for the eyes. All right, we already know what time it is. Well, superhero fare often skews heavily male. The Flash is even more so than usual, or 70%. Well, and who's paying for the other 30% tickets? Anyways, box office pundits are divided as to whether Miller's off-screen woes are impacting the film's performance. No, it's just everybody's fucking tired. And given the fact that DC announced that, yes, there's a big reboot that's going to be starting, I think it's summer of 2024, 2025 or something like that. Like, the way that you're conditioned to view superhero films is they aren't really necessary unless they're connecting to a larger scope, thanks Marvel. But because this is just going absolutely nowhere, what's the incentive for people to go watch a part of a story that's never going to have a conclusion? So you ended up shooting yourself in the foot by announcing that, hey, take a look, we got a 10-year plan with the new DCU. How about you make one fucking film that's actually worth everybody's time? Just do one, just fucking one, because there hasn't been one. Like, the last notable, the last good, the last tolerable DC related film was probably The Dark Knight, and that was in 2008. You went the entire superhero heyday without anything fucking good. Yo. You had some films that made money for whatever fucking reason. Aquaman came out and made over $1 billion. Oh, hey, there's a sequel that's going to be coming out during the summer. Is everybody waiting and ready for that? I just want to see how terrible that's going to fucking perform. But anyways, yeah, they just recap. Yeah, Miller was arrested multiple times in 2022 and was subject to several controversies, culminating in the actor issuing a statement in August, apologizing for their behavior. Yes, of course, because Ezra Miller's non-binary. And you know, if he didn't have the rap sheet as long as his fucking arm, or the amount of accusations against him that's longer than the list of kids that he groomed, he would have been out there on Front Street doing all of the marketing. But no, we'll just go ahead and, you know, put him behind the scenes. But hey, look, we have Michael's 71-year-old Keaton out here reprising his role as Batman from, you remember, 1991. Everybody remembers Batman Returns, right? Right? No? Oh, okay. Yeah, Miller walked the red carpet at the movie's premiere, but has otherwise been absent from doing publicity for The Flash, who... What role again does he play in The Flash? Oh, right, he's The Flash, and he's not doing any marketing for it. Good stuff. Wonder why the film's not doing all that well. In the Andy Muschietti directed film, Miller stars in dual roles as an alternate timeline version. Yeah. If you want a more in-depth analysis of it, I would recommend the EFAP. That'll probably be coming out for it. Like, they went live on Saturday, but the re-release will come out on that one. It was 5.5 hours long, and everybody hates it. Anyways, I want to know what, Pixar Elemental. Okay, Pixar, which has Elemental opening this weekend, but the family film with a bunch of groomer tendencies. Oh no, it is Disney. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Quickly fell flat at the box office with the latest blow for the storied animation studio. Yeah, but you kind of gutted it about a decade ago, and it hasn't really been the same. I remember it's like Disney Pixar. Well, Disney used to be a seal of quality in and of itself for me growing up. Like I remember I was alive during the Renaissance when everything was fucking great. Lion King, Aladdin, Little Mermaid came out a year before I was born, but close enough. And then with, Pixar, okay, you had the 2 Toy Story films. Was Bug's Life a part of Pixar? Can't quite remember that. Monsters Inc. I gotta shout out Hercules because I know that's on the Disney side and all that stuff. But I really started to fall off when Cars came out. Maybe I was just aging out or something like that. It's just, it was whatever. But up until I think Cars 2 was the first point in time where they started to stumble. Like there was a certain air of quality when it came with Pixar, but for the longest time it's just kind of been a... All right, and it's fine. This one right here, oh, buddy, this is not good. This is bad. Many pundits worry that original animated IP is no longer a theatrical proposition. Absolutely not. That is not the case at all. Do something interesting. Tell a good story through an animated medium, and guess what? People will come and watch it. Christ almighty, that's basically what Avatar is, for Christ's sakes. And for whatever reason, that shit made $2 billion twice over. Also, the former regime at Disney sent several Pixar movies straight to streaming during the pandemic. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Possibly changing consumer habits. Oh, of course, you just go ahead and try to drum up any excuse you possibly can. But in actuality, I think Mario overperforming expectations because, yes, Super Mario is a beloved franchise, but good word of mouth gave that film legs. And that's just not what you're getting with these dead-end DC films. That's not what you're getting with Disney, Pixar at all at this point in time. Elemental earned an estimated $29.5 million over the 3-day weekend. It's weird because, oh, you don't want to point out the Juneteenth numbers? And yeah, there's a lot of kids that would want to go to see this. You know, the single moms need some time away, but what does the Cineplex not take food stamps? The lowest wide weekend debut for a Pixar title outside of Toy Story. Huge fucking asterisk on this, which started off with $29.1 million nearly 3 decades ago, not adjusted for inflation. Yeah, $29.1 million in the 90s. A little bit different than $29.5 million in the 2020s, which is basically what you can buy a loaf of bread for. Overseas, Elemental earned $17 million. Fucking yuck. The first 17 markets, including The Flash in South Korea, with $3.2 million. The movie stumbled in China, however, with $5.2 million. Ain't nobody like, we like pictures, not those ones, so fuck off. Hope now is that Elemental will parlay its cinema score into long legs at the box office. I fucking doubt it, because the only thing that anybody's talking about, oh, looks great, but it's like, what's the characters? What's the plot? Looks great. It's not going to have legs. The Flash, you're speedy. But it's not going to have legs. It's just going to be quickly in the theaters and then quickly the fuck out. Hollywood isn't dead. It's just its products. It's just its messaging that is. And the quicker that these studios realize that less Disney stuff, more Illumination stuff, more Paramount, Top Gun Maverick stuff, the quicker that the course will be corrected. But nah. Here you have two of the dumbest companies in the world, in Warner Brothers and in Disney, and they're going to be the last ones to change. Case and fucking point. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.